So hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this video what we are going to discuss is Linux and its pros and cons. So first of all, let's get on to the video. What is Linux basically? Linux is an operating system just like Windows or Mac OS, and also it makes the communication between the hardware and software for you. The One of the special features of Linux is it is freedom. You are completely free in Linux. No one is collecting your data, and no one is tracking you or stuff like that. And Linux is also an open source system. There is a whole community. If there is any problem in the OS, developers from the world can fix the problems any day. And it's also powerful. It's quite powerful. And if you compare it to Windows or Mac OS, there are some spaces where Mac OS and Windows are falling very behind Linux. Now, why would you use Linux? Say you're a Windows user, always have been. Why would you want to learn a whole new operating system? Practically all the computers these days run Windows. You buy a new laptop, Windows. You go to library, Windows. You use a computer at work, yeah, probably Windows. Unlike Windows or Mac OS, Linux offers sometimes some pretty snappy features that don't compare in terms of freedom and open sourcing, really. For example, Linux is free. You can put it on as many systems as you like, and you can change it to the suit your needs. Windows isn't free. You have to buy it. And even Mac OS is not free, and only have a couple of users out of that of product key, because then you have to purchase MS Office and OneDrive and stuff. So you can't. It's optional basically, but if you don't do, you will not get the actual service, right? And Microsoft and Apple both know that where their bread is buttered in terms of getting the most out of the market here. The question is, are you just using Windows because it is all you know? Would you prefer Linux if you used it? Get your head around it, and possibly, yeah. Because if you try Linux out of it, then probably you will think that no, I am liking this more. This has a good learning curve, and I should possibly shift to it, or I should spend more time with it and explore it a bit. Now, what is Linux basically used for? You see, even Microsoft, Apple, and Google, their servers run on Linux, so it's such a stable operating system. Even servers run on Linux, then supercomputers run on Linux, potatoes run on Linux. I mean, not those cooking potatoes, those are different things. I mean, potato PCs. Linux is so light that it even runs on those Raspberry Pis. It can even run with 1 core CPU and 500 MB RAM or less. You can use it. So some advantages are, you can use it to troubleshoot other computers. Say for example, your computer won't boot up. You can just pop a live USB and boot into Linux and access your hard drive from there, and then you just troubleshoot what's the problem basically. Then build or host a website. Well, hosting a website, servers, these all mostly run on Linux, most websites. And Linux offers nice performance. As you see, this YouTube and stuff also run on Linux. And operating system for your computer, yeah, so that's basically what I am talking about, that it can be also used as a daily operating system. Yeah. Now there is a myth that no, Linux is actually, you shouldn't go for Linux because Linux is not actually so for home for daily use, and Linux is basically for servers and enterprise, etc., etc., and all those nonsense. But no, they can be used for daily usage and they are pretty good at their point. Linux is all around you. Yeah. Your Android is based on Linux. Your TV, your fridge, your washing machine, if you have some smart furnitures, it needs a program, and it won't run Windows. Obviously, it does not have so much RAM, so it will have the only option to run Linux or something else, but Linux is the best option there. Now let's come to the pros of Linux. First first advantage of Linux is that it's free, and yeah, Windows is paid, Mac OS is paid, but Linux is free and gives you the heck out of performance, and you won't really get disappointed by the performance of Linux, because Linux, as I've used till now, it has been completely smooth and I'm not at all disappointed by it. And it's open source, so if you are a developer, if you are a good developer, then you can even make changes to your Linux system. Even you can contribute to the Linux distros, to the Linux community, and then you have the source code in front of you, so you can just tweak in the code if you know what you are doing, or you can end up crashing things up. And also, as it is open source, you, if there is even a virus or something that is affecting Linux, then millions of developers over the world can contribute to the Linux community and help finish that virus or finish that bug, fix that bug basically. Now it's customizable, obviously. So Linux is one of the most customizable, actually not one of the most, it's the most customizable operating system. You can make your Linux look like Windows, you can make your Linux look like Mac, you can make your Linux look like another Linux distro, and that depends on your desktop environment basically. And Linux desktop environments are beautiful. And KDE Plasma, there is a desktop environment called KDE Plasma, where it has like infinite customizability. It is highly customizable. You can do anything to customize stuff. And if you imagine that I want to make my OS look like this, then obviously you can. There are theme stores, there are exotic theme stores that with some bombastic collection of themes. Then Linux is powerful. Yeah, Linux is pretty powerful, and the power, you can just imagine how powerful it is, because it is used to run fast servers. YouTube is such a fast server, and other websites too. And also it's fast. If you run Linux on a 2 GB RAM machine also, it will give you a heck out of performance. And if you have a good computer, then Linux will burst, I mean not get destroyed, its performance will just give you something top level performance, which I call it. Now security. Well, Linux is the OS, is the typical OS that has the least number of viruses, and even if there is a virus affecting the open source community, as I told, the Linux community, they can just fix the bug anytime. There are cyber security specialists out there who are using Black Kali and others for hacking other distros. Then it's lightweight. It's obviously lightweight. I mean, though it depends on your desktop environment, some desktop environments are like they will occupy 300 MB RAM only, or 100 MB RAM, or the max to max what a general OS consumes in Linux is I think 1.2 or 3 GB is the max that a Linux can consume standalone. So you can understand how light it is and how much how much extra work you can do. So just imagine that you have an 8 GB RAM computer and you were using Windows was taking 2.6 GB RAM to 3 GB RAM, and then you were getting those 4 GB RAM performance. And here you come to Linux and then you get about 6.5 GB RAM or 7 GB RAM performance, because spare RAM, because you see here when Linux is taking load less RAM. Now it's best for programmers. Yeah, being a programmer myself, I can tell that it is awesome for programmers. Its development environment is so smooth, so sleek, and programming languages like programming languages and compilers come inbuilt. Like Python is pre-installed, and GCC and G++ are pre-installed, and there is Bash language which you can tweak in for learning, for the sake of learning. And then programmers can face good performance here, and as it is lightweight again, your programs can run fast. Now, ease of installing and setup. Linux is definitely easy to install. It's like you use an application, you make a bootable USB. And Linux is also very small in size compared to other OSs, so it can be even 1 GB. The OS size can be even 1 GB, so you need about minimum of 4 GB space in your pen drive for the biggest Linux distros. Or you can, for 2 GB pen drives, you can go for Arc and stuff, which are lighter than 2 GB. Then you can just make it bootable. Then you have to just plug in the device, you restart, and you can boot into the live session, and then you can install it. It's easy to install, and you can run it on several machines anytime you want. Now, stability. Linux is very stable, of course. It's more stable than Windows and Mac. It can give you nice performance for a long time, unlike Windows, because Windows, as you see, as time goes, it becomes laggier and worse and worse. Also, as the Linux, well, unlike Windows again, it ain't having those spyware and stuff, like those ransomware. Most are not made for Linux, so yeah. So that doesn't even affect your system much, and your system stays in performance, stays in the form for a lot of time. Now, there is a large community of support. This is something I just love about Linux, that it has a large community of millions of people who use Linux, and there is a forum for every distro, or for a common Unix forum, and there you can ask your questions. Because like in the Microsoft forums, you can't actually rely on someone, because until an official Microsoft employee or Microsoft worker gives a reply to you, because you can end up messing things up. And in the forums, I saw that there were like pretty intelligent and pretty knowledgeable people that provided good solutions for my problems, and you can obviously ask your questions there and get a quick answer out of there. They can even answer in 1 or 2 days if they notice your question. It can be run even within Windows. Now, Linux is there is a feature called WSL, which is the Windows subsystem for Linux, and it can be run even within Windows. Now you may be guessing how within Windows. Well, the thing is that this feature, if you on it, if you turn it on, and then if you install a WSL distro, then you can use the Linux terminal inside your Windows and use your Windows like Linux. Though your files will not be so much accessible like Linux, but still WSL is a good practice for people who want to shift to Linux and need a good experience, want to try it out a bit, tweak it out a bit. Then, as I told about freedom at the starting of the video, that it's you can do anything. You can configure your OS to any extent, to anything you want. You can even turn into a donkey, then you can even turn into a Cinderella. Then there are powerful alternatives. See, a myth is also there that Linux simply lacks in software availability. But I want to tell that, okay, it doesn't have so many software as Windows. It doesn't have Adobe Photoshop and stuff, but there are very powerful alternatives that are like sometimes better than the original ones. And when coming to the Linux world, you get to know these, and then you can experience that how alternatives could make your work easier than using the original paid ones, or paid or non-paid. But still, it has powerful alternatives like for video edition there is DaVinci Resolve, and there is Blender. For Photoshop there is GIMP, and I use GIMP to make my thumbnails. Now I know that this channel doesn't have many that much thumbnails, but yeah, I will soon start making thumbnails, and the channel icon also I designed myself. So you can also comment down below how is our new channel look, because I had to change it because it needed a renovation. Now there are now these were the pros of Linux. Now let's go to cons. Many distros, well, only 3 cons here. Many distros aren't as user friendly out of the box. There are many distros which are even hard to install, and they are not as user friendly, but there is a solution to it. There are some distros which are super easy to use, and they are like they are only have GUI, and you don't even need to access the terminal for them. For example, Mint or Pop OS. Mint, I am using Mint, and these are so beginner friendly distros that they are something that will impress a Windows user shifting to Linux. So this cons is repairable again. The second one is drivers. Now we can't do anything for this. Driver support for Linux is not so good as it is in Windows, and you can understand because companies need profit, and if they invest their time in Linux, they won't get as profit as they do it in Windows, because Windows has the majority with it. So NVIDIA drivers are not well supported. AMD drivers are still supported because the open sourceity of drivers. And no, I don't mean that Intel and NVIDIA drivers are not completely supported. No, they are supported, but there are many GPUs that are not supported, and that's why the drivers kind of lag behind in Linux. Then the unsupported Microsoft Office and Adobe apps. Well, we all know that Microsoft Office is something that no one can. Here there is LibreOffice, but in LibreOffice, well, the font selection is not there, and the autocorrect is not so good as Microsoft Office, and the AI features are not so good. But yeah, this also has a solution. You can run Microsoft Office apps and stuff like OneDrive by using some packages like Wine. Then games can be run by Lutris, and Adobe apps also, probably with Wine and stuff. Then OneDrive, you can use ArcClone for that. OneDrive. So these are some things that are very irritating in Linux. But yeah, the two of them have a solution, and the drivers one we can't do unless the company is doing something on their side, because we are not designing their drivers. Of course, they are proprietary, most of them.